Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we're looking at a new tool. Well, a tool set. This is the Kaiweets electric screwdriver set. And if you know me, you know I've got tons of electric screwdrivers that we use. This little guy here. We've got this guy here. And one of my problems with the smaller electric screwdrivers is they don't have torque settings. So there's no way to do torque, which is really dangerous when you're working with some smaller screws. You got to hold the driver really loose so that when it actually grips, you're not holding it and breaking a screw head off and stuff like that. So I am super excited to check out this, if I can get it open, this electric screwdriver set from Kaiweets. And yeah, should be pretty good. There's some of the stats of the stuff it comes with. And really, like I said, it's about having torque settings. That's what I'm most excited about. 64-piece driver set. Let's get in here, guys. So we snagged this guy up off of Amazon, and again, prices always change, so I usually don't like to mention the pricing, but you can always click the link down in the description below to see what the current pricing is. I think when I got this guy, it was $40. Is this a magnetic card? Mobile phone repair tools, screw memory mat. Yeah, I think this is a little like a magnetic card that comes with, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's magnetic, not super magnetic, but it's a little magnetic. Maybe? Hold on. Oh yeah, it's magnetic. Some of these screws are not the most magnetic, so that's the issue there, but yeah, you can see that one is. Cool. So we got that. We've got a magnetizer for your tip. You can use this on other tools or the tips here. You basically run your tool through the magnetizer and it'll magnetize the tip, or you can run it on the outside here and it'll demagnetize it. So depending on what you're trying to do. Looks like we got a little instruction manual here, user manual. You can pause and look at that if you'd like. Runs on 3.7 volts, charges at 0.35 amps. Looks like it goes to sleep after 5 minutes of non-use. It's got a 350 milliamp lithium battery. Charge time takes 60 minutes. Standby time, it'll last for 60 days. Yeah. Cool. All right, here's our charge cable. Looks like it uses USB-C. And it comes in this awesome little case. Now, the question is, how do I... Oh, it's got spring-loaded. That's nifty. Just want to make sure it's... I'm just going to... Okay. Seems like it's in there good. Boom. And it slides all the way out. That's pretty slick. I dig that. Let's see. How does this open? Does this whole thing open here? Maybe. Maybe not. Should open. Maybe not. Maybe not. Comes with extra tools. Tweezers, always good. What I like about it is it's a whole bunch of tools kind of all compact into a single thing. So if we take it with us somewhere out to the trails or to race night, we've got everything in there. Obviously, this toolkit is kind of more meant for an electronics setup, like for people who do phones or iPads or work on computers, stuff like that. It's got a lot of tools for those, but it's going to be great for our mini RCs for sure. Probably not a ton of torque on it. I'll have to see if I can find the torque specs to see how much, if you can you do 10th scale stuff, break loose bolts on a 10th scale with it. I'm not sure, but for the minis and micro RCs, man, these are going to be awesome. Let's see, they just kind of, are they magnetic? Are they pretty? Magnets are pretty strong there. I had to bang really hard to get that to happen, but that's nice. Nice and secure in there. Yeah, you got to bang really hard to get them out if you're going to try to get them to fall out, but they come out super easily. I love that. Man, that's pretty slick. Oh, it's a light. Got a light on the front. Nice, nice. We're pretty bright here in this my workbench, so it doesn't look very bright, but we can see real quick. Hold on. Turn off some of the lights in here. Oh yeah, that's decent. Actually got really bright. There we go. I mean, we got tons of lights in here, guys, so yeah, decent though. Not bad. There. All the lights off, except the monitors. I've got some monitors on still, so yeah. It's not the brightest, but it definitely will work in a pinch, especially if you're like out in a trail at night or something. Could be useful if you're trying to fix something, pull your toolkit out. All right, so I do need to figure out how to do the torque settings here. I'm not seeing it on here. I mean, there's only 3 buttons. I think we long press. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you long press, it'll start blinking, and then you can go to the different torque setting. Now it does just move it slower. I wonder if that means, is it actually changing gears in there? I think it's actually physically using different gears. So the 5 different torque settings will range from 0.15 Newton meters up to 0.35 Newton meters. It says the manual torque setting is 5 Newton meters with a maximum no load speed of 200 RPMs. So that's going to be on the fastest setting here. So we're going to need to get a driver in here, and then we'll see, does it just stop? Is it just like, okay, and then if we drop it down to the lowest, oh, that's way less torque. Wow, it's like super light. I mean, I could probably just stop it by pushing. Look at that. I also wonder how charged we are. I mean, that's pretty good torque in that. I mean, I have to squeeze really hard to try to stop it. Yeah, it's not even really stopping. So that'd probably strip some screws right there. I definitely want to make sure we fully charge this guy before we start using it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, I am squeezing, no joke. I'm sure we could stop it if we use. Let's try this guy. Here's something with more I can grip on. Oh yeah, we can completely stop it there. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good though. I mean, I don't know if you can tell how hard I'm squeezing that thing. Anyway, so yeah, long hold, drop it down. Definitely changes the torque setting. Yeah, I really appreciate that. That's going to be awesome. Would be nice to be able to see, this had like the battery. Be nice if when you clicked it once. Oh, look at that. Hold on. Doesn't look like it's popping up the torque setting. I guess, do you hold it or just click it? So one click turns on the light, another click turns it off, another click turns it on, another click turns it off, another click turns it on. It must be, oh, okay. If you double click it, it pops that up. There, so you know your torque setting just by double clicking. Nice. I believe that's the torque setting. Let's change it. Make sure it's not the battery. We'll put it all the way down to 1. Okay. Light on, light off. Oh yeah, there we go. So that is actually the battery. That's the battery life. Nice. So that's good. That's kind of what we wanted. We wanted to see the battery life. So it looks like we're almost fully charged. And then our torque setting, when we hold, we're on torque setting 1. Not showing 5. Maybe we're right on the edge of the battery power. Maybe it's because the light was on. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to use it a little bit and see if that meter drops as we use it. Anyway, okay. We need to do some wheels here. Now, before we do that, I do want to just go through the entire package here, everything that it comes with, all the pieces. I'll put a graphic up. You've got the hexes, all the different sizes of hexes, which is what we're going to mostly use. We also have Torx security bits. We have some Phillips heads. We have the tri-wing, the flathead, regular Torx. And then there's a pentalobe, which is the star pattern. The square ones, which are used in a lot of electronics. Triangle, same there. Then you have a U-type. And then there are two other types. One is an MID. It's just like a push button. It's to open things up. And then same with the SIM card. It's basically like your safety pin or your paper clip. They also have the longer tips. And you've got some Torx security bits there. The Phillips head. The hexes, which are only in the 1.5, the 2, and the 2.5. Kind of wish there was a 1.3 in there. And an 0.90. Or 0.9, excuse me. 0.50 would work as well, but 0.9 or the 1.3s would have been nice to add in there. A flathead, a triangle, and then another U-type. So yeah, definitely some cool stuff that comes with this. It's going to have pretty much everything you need. It's going to be awesome.
A few moments later.
So we got some 1.3 wheels here. These are OGRC wheels off Amazon. And I'm just going to test kind of what we're doing here. We're going to start with the lowest torque setting. And then we're going to see how it goes in. It's kind of slow, but it's going, and we'll see where it stops. Okay, so it stops, and there's still quite a bit I can tighten it down. And there's another thing I wanted to mention. The 5 Newton meters is for when you are not using the power here. So the power driver, when you're not using it, it'll lock up. So it's completely locked. So that way you can get some good torque on it, and it can handle up to 5 Newton meters. So that's what that was there. But on here, like I said, the max we're going to get is that 0.35 Newton meters. So let's go ahead and go to the second level. We'll do the next screw and see where we're at. And because I've used a lot of electric drivers, I can kind of feel when it's going to be too much. And that one's we still got plenty we can go. We'll do the next level now. So 3. Definitely getting more torque in there. Okay. Let's go up to 4 now. One thing when you're using an electric driver is you always want to kind of back it out just a tad. I can feel it click in there. That way you know you're not cross-threading before you go full blast into it. Because otherwise you're going to cross-thread it or strip it out. Okay, yeah. Definitely a little tighter now. I think we're going to be able to do 5 without worrying about it breaking a head off a screw here. But hopefully it's still tight enough. So that kind of gives me a little bit of concern that there's not going to be a ton of torque for 10th scale stuff. We'll have to see how we can back things out. Again, worst case, you use the driver without the electric, without the power, so you get that full torque, and then you can use the power to help get you the rest of the way out. Same with going in, right? Like you use the power to go in, and then once you get it all the way in, you can stop. Oh yeah, so it's not so much torque that it'll break one of these bolt heads off. Okay, that's good. These screws are kind of cheapy too, so that's just telling me that we got plenty of torque without being too much torque. So the tip on the drivers seem pretty good. They're not, absolutely amazing. I doubt they're hardened steel, but they seem okay. After a couple hundred or 1,000 uses, these might start to wear, but they are standard. You can get new ones. These hex bits are the H4 sized bits, so they're pretty easy to come across if you do need to get new ones. I would love to see some of the higher end brands, maybe like MIP, make these kind of bits for like a micro screwdriver for their handheld drivers. That would be nice for a small kit to run, to bring with us on comps and stuff like that. That would definitely be cool. And then we can use those tips if they're H4s in our electric driver here, which would be super nice. So I'll be honest, I think I'd rather have a driver be slightly under torque than over torque when it comes to an electric driver, just because you can always get that last little bit of torque by manually turning the driver, you know. So like that's plenty of torque. Like I almost was worried it was gonna go too far there, but it seems like it's just the right amount for these M1.4 screws. So SEX24 screws, stuff like that, they should be fantastic in that regard. Okay. So let me finish getting all these screws in, and then we'll tell you how it went once I'm done putting all the screws in, because we'll know, because we've got a lot of screws to put in. We've got 6, let's see, 6 times 4, so that's 24 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus 12 times 4, so another 48. So that's a lot of screws. The thing did say, the listing says that the single charge should get you over 1,000 screws on a single charge, right around 1,000 screws tightened. So that's about the battery life, which I'm sure, I mean, if you're like me, you probably just plug the guy in once you're done using it. And that's kind of what I do. I plug it in and then let it sit. Unless it's going with me, or leave it in a backpack or something. Then I charge it up before I go wherever I'm going. Make sure we're fully charged, but yeah, seems good so far. Yeah, they've got just enough torque, it seems. And again, you can always torque it down more by hand if you feel like you need a little more. It's better than breaking a screw off inside of an expensive pair of axles or wheels, something along those lines. I'd much rather have it under torque and then manually torque that little tiny bit the rest. It's just much easier. The whole point of a power screwdriver like this is to save time. So, especially in disassembly, like, it's nice to have more torque on disassembly though, I'll be honest, because you kind of want that extra break loose torque. So after this, we'll try some, see if we can break loose some 10 scale wheels, which I highly doubt, but we'll probably have to break them loose by hand and then we can back them out, but we'll see.
More moments later.
Alrighty guys, we got those all mounted up. For the 6 screws here, 6 screws for our inner face and ring, and then our outer ring here, another 6 screws. So 18 screws per wheel and tire, times 4 is 72 screws we did. I mean, obviously we still have plenty of power. Our tip is just fine. No issues there. This thing is awesome. I also noticed there's a little positive and negative deal here, a little cup for screws. The case itself is open on the bottom here, so you can charge it while it's in the case, which is pretty awesome. So you don't have to take it out and leave it out of the case. You can literally just put it away, put everything away. You don't have to leave your driver sitting on your desk. You can put it all away and then plug it in while it's put away, which is very, very cool. One thing I was wishing is that they had a little bit more torque, just a little bit. One more torque setting, or move the 5th torque setting higher, kind of separate out the levels, because the level of the torque in between, 1 and 5 is not that dramatic. So I like having it as low as it is. That's super nice. And I wish it was just a little bit higher on torque. But again, you can always torque it by hand. It also gives a little bit higher speed, right? With that higher torque, a little bit higher speed. Because there were some times where I was like, I wish it could be a little bit faster. One of my other drivers is a little faster. But again, it'll break screws off if you're not careful. So again, torque settings is huge in here. And at the price point, freaking awesome. I do wish, after using it to do these, that these buttons were up here. I want to do it like this, like a pen, right? Whereas when they're back here, I find myself using my thumb a lot. I also find myself kind of not hitting the button straight on. See, like that? If you're not hitting the button straight on, it doesn't activate. So you want to make sure you're hitting the button straight on. And if these were further down, then you would have a much easier time while you're holding it, even with your thumb, if it was right here, forward and reverse. So just wish these were up here, but I get it. All the gearbox is in here. This is where all the gears are. So, and we'll show you some internal photos there. But yeah, that's part of the reason why the buttons aren't there. But maybe in a future version, it'd be nice if they could make it a little bit. I'd even take a little bit larger. Maybe not. I don't know. It's good at the size it is. But even if it was just a little larger, a little thicker here to get the buttons out front, I think that is totally worth it. Anyway, all right, very cool. We need to try to unscrew some 10 scale stuff here. Try to get our torque up to 5. Okay, then we'll turn our light off. All right, let me grab some 10 scale wheels. I really like that it's got this longer driver that's available. This is the 2.0. 2mm. So that's cool because it can go deep into something, right? So that's super nice. I like that a lot, actually. And then let's see here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. You got it. So I think again, if something's super tight, you just break it loose, boom, and then you can go the rest of the way, right? Now I did notice. I felt like there's a lot of play in this. Oh man, is that the screw or is that the driver tip? Oh, that's much tighter. Huh. Okay, so the 2.0 long tip is a little less precise, it seems, than the small tip. Hold on, let's go here. We're going to measure this guy here. Should be right at the tip here. All right. Yeah, 1.97, 1.99, if I go gently here. Yeah, 1.95. It tapers in, so if you go in a little further, you end up at the 2, just even a little higher. The further down you go, it tapers. So, and then this guy right at the tip. Oh wow, yeah, that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Interesting. So that's a much lower tolerance. There's a lot of hex still on there, though. I don't know if you can see that. Like, the hex is pretty long, the actual hex portion. So you probably could go through and sand or grind this down a little bit. And again, because it tapers, you would get it a little bit better fitting in a screw head, because there's a lot of play in there. I almost worry that if we were to crank down too hard, we would round out a bolt. So yeah, definitely be careful with these longer bits. All the other bits that I've used, the 1.3. I also did a 2.0 on something else, just testing it off camera, and it seemed to fit fine. This guy's the first one where I've had any kind of issue. I wonder if the larger one's here. Let's see. This is a 2.5. So it's right at 2.4. They're almost always a little less, right? Even a good driver. Like this MIP is a 1.3. If I measure it, it's not exactly 1.3, right? It's 1.27. 1.28, 1.27. Yeah. So they're not exactly the millimeter. There needs to be a little bit of give in there. So, but let's see. Get 1.24 on that guy. 1.243. And then where's our 2.5 here? Yeah, 2.5, 2.4. Yeah, so it looks like these longer bits just aren't to the same spec as these shorter bits. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. At least with these ones. I don't know, maybe the other ones, these other bits are a little more accurate. But in these hexes, which is what we're going to use most, they're a little off, just a little bit. That's a 2.5. This case with the magnets, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. So again, we can just break these guys loose if we have to. Yeah, see, it doesn't have the torque to get it out. So you just have to break it loose, which again, it can handle plenty of torque when it's in the lock mode. When you're not using it and it's just locked, you got plenty of torque. So you can really crank down on it. I'd probably strip the screw before I broke anything internally. But yeah, it's in there good. All right, yeah, there we go. And then you can get it out. And it just saves you on the fingers and on the wrists and on the spinning and a little bit of time. And if you know what would be cool is if you could lock this, that would be cool. If you could like hold the button down and like slide it or double press it, and it would just go. And then you could, while it spins, you could also do a screw unscrew motion and speed it up twice as fast in, twice as fast out. That would be a cool feature. Double click and it would just turn on. Yeah. Add that, guys. Add that, Kaiweets. Double click and it turns on. That would be good. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe there's reasons not to do that. Tell me in the comments below what you think. Would that be a cool feature where you can just double click and then I could twice as fast screw and unscrew stuff? I think so. Alrighty, guys. It's an awesome tool. I'm digging it. If I ever have any issues, I will let you know. It seems like it's going to be solid. Like I said, my only real concern is the max torque, which isn't really a concern. Bigger concern are these bits here being a little bit off. Like I said, if you just drumble the tips down, make sure you do it nice and flat, drumble them down. They're going to get thicker, and just kind of use your calipers or just take a little bit off, and then it'll probably fit that screw better. Yeah, that's probably what we'll end up doing, because I want to be able to use these longer bits because they're definitely going to be helpful in some situations. But yeah, no complaints. Like I said, just wish the buttons were up here, but I understand why they're not. Wish it had a little bit of torque, but not necessary, because we can always just use it when it's in the locked gearbox, like a normal driver, to break it loose or get that last tightened down. But I love that it's adjustable torque. I love that there's a torque setting that will not break a screw head, so you can just go until it stops, which is freaking awesome. I love that it's easy to charge. It comes in this awesome case. Yeah, I got nothing really bad to say about it. I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for an electric driver. This one looks to be the one. Alrighty, guys. Thanks a ton for watching. Thanks to all our channel members for watching. They help support the channel a lot. They get to see all these videos early before anybody else with no ads. They also get behind the scenes videos, and they get priority comment replies, as well as other benefits for being channel members. You can also just hit that subscribe button. That's just a click for you, but it means the world to us. Also, like the video if it gave you information you like, or you just want to help support the channel. Liking the video helps kill that algorithm. Then you can also share. That's huge too. If you learn something here or know somebody that's looking for information that we provide in one of our videos, be sure to share it, whether it's in a Facebook group or just a messenger or text message or Reddit post, something like that. Sharing is probably the best thing you can do to support the channel. If you're not going to subscribe or become a channel member, that's huge. So thanks again, everybody. Make sure you get out there and build something awesome. Build a car, build a course, build a community, use some awesome tools to do it, and then smash it, crash it, mash it, but don't break the expensive parts, because then you have to use the tools more. Peace, guys.